presentation or lessons for the youth here. Um, one of them is this one, and many of them related to the topics of faith, basically, like the existence of Allah, and then the problem of evil, and then why Islam, and all these questions asked by the youth. But today we're gonna talk about this, inshallah. So welcome to 21st century. So we are, 21st century. That means after the year of 2000, right? So 21st. So I think you guys know already all these advancement of science and technology. This is the space station, Mars rover, auto driving cars, and then this one is very amazing. This one is a nanotechnology, like very small chip, and it contains hundreds of pages of history books. So now we can create that. And also we know that our bioengineering technology right now can create stem cells and mutants and all kind of medicines and vaccine for the pandemics, right? And then the smart glasses and artificial intelligence. This is not a movie anymore. This one is reality. People think like this is Terminator, but this one is reality already. So they can create robots that can be move like men. So that's scary, I think. And also when you see a lot of artificial intelligence in everywhere, CCTV now you can detect the pattern recognition, facial recognition. So you can see all these people that you can target, like blacklist or something. And also here, if you live in US, you can, I don't know if Qatar you might have their Alexa or different assistants. Like Hey Google or Siri or Cortana, they're all artificial intelligence. So all this amazing science technology, but we as a human, we are still the same basically. We still need basic necessary like food, clothing, shelter, and then all these social needs, right? Like respect, love, and education. And people right now in this age, many of them they don't think religion is relevant anymore. They said that religion is just old fashioned, like those for like middle age, or it's antiquity, that you should not use it now because everybody now is we have science, technology. There is no Adam and Eve. There's only evolution. So all this mindset in this 21st century basically put the religion on the side. Maybe they use it for birth. People, baptize their children, or akika, something like that, or marriage or divorce. They use occasionally religion. So the fact is, we share one planet, one Earth. Everybody's on Earth, along with its problem. There's tornado there. That's a fact. Like when I was at Purdue, Indiana, in 1990s, when you hear the siren, like everybody's run towards basement because that means there's the tornadoes coming. So when tornadoes coming, they can destroy everything on this path. So basically, it's very powerful. So that's a scary one. Right now, with this amazing technology, we can only. It's very hard to prevent this because the event of the climate, the weather change is so what do you call that? So fluid basically. Like they try to use big data to detect and stuff. It's still not working. So and also earthquake. The earthquake still with the technology we cannot detect because it's beyond us. It's underneath, right? Tectonic plates. We can only detect the vibration of the earth and with what do you call that? Seismic. The curve, right? And then the volcano. This is in Hawaii. This is in I think it's in Japan, or this one is the 1970s, San Francisco. So this is like the reality. And here, tsunami. Everybody knows about tsunami. When the earthquake happened in the ocean, right? It basically it's fluctuate and it caused the tsunami to hit the coastline and it destroy everything. Look at this. This is Aceh. This is Aceh. This is Thailand. And this is, if you go to Aceh, there's a museum. It's called Tsunami Museum. You can see they have this
Model.
different, yeah. So it's like models, yeah. And this what happened at this time, right? Since 2020, pandemic, virus. See, we are so arrogant. We think like we know everything. The virus, even you cannot. It's the smallest, yeah, tiny, and then it's overwhelmed. Everybody overwhelmed. America is the highest right now. I don't know. It's like already 300,000 died. And then look at these workers, right? All this, it's already, they already overwhelmed, and hospitals full. Last time, I think Mbak Karisa mentioned about when it hit New York. It's very very fast, and they could not prepare for it. The mayor, the governor, you have to like bury people. They buried people like with the trucks because the morgue, they could not contain any more bodies. And that's in New York. I have friends that also passed away there because of this COVID. They're like Muslim activists as well. So they hit everybody, not differentiate. So, and this the biggest one, and it's still we're still waiting. Asteroid. So this NASA already prepared with all these major countries to create a plan. What about if there is an asteroid or comet try to come to Earth? And that's it. That's basically the end of days. Like all these verses in the Quran, the chapter in the Quran, إذا السماء انشقت, all these إذا السماء, like al-buruj, and not al-buruj, inshiqaq, when the rise of the ocean, and when the earth just split asunder, all these things, Allah already predicted. So we don't know when, but it will happen, NASA said. So they try to prevent this, but look at this. This is in Arizona. I went there last time. It hits this like a million years ago. When it hits, people theorize that it destroy or make the dinosaur extinct. And look at these points. These all the hit by meteorites. So there, you saw that a couple years ago, right, in Russia. Like it's like atomic bombs. Like everybody is scared of the sound and the lights. Like the night, it becomes like daytime. The lights. So, but those are something that we cannot control. But most of our problems on Earth is people problems. Look at what happened this here. This is war in the Middle East. It's before the war is so beautiful here. All these, the cities, and it's all gone. In here, racism. This is Ku Klux Klan in America. When I was in college, they were rallying in the downtown with this. So we are like colored people. We we hide. We don't wanna. Sometimes some racists throw beer bottle like go back to your country. So this is racism. So this is real reality, not fiction or movies. And this is shootings in the school. How many shootings last time, right? In Maryland elementary school, they shot many kids there. One, crazy guy, and then this is Columbine. Two guys. They are inspired by Matrix. Matrix, Keanu Reeves. With all this, they thought that our life is like dreams. It's like they are all. This is all like computer generated dreams. So when they die, that's a reality. So that's kind of like scary thoughts, like when you got that kind of mindset. And here is like yeah, and this is gangs, drug cartels. If you know that there's very violence. People, when they using drugs and as a business, they can kill and very very violently, brutally. It's just beyond. I don't want to put the graphics. I know they're like 10 years old here maybe. So here's another problems. Homeless. This is in Portland, my town here. This one here. You think America is like it's like Portland used to be like really nice. Now look at this. The drugs, because of they got so much stress, and maybe they try to release the stress, frustration. This is in Seattle. You know what happened? Because of they could not afford rent anymore. it's called gentrification. Gentrification means that because of the industry becomes so booming in the area, and then this, like Silicon Valley, for example, right? So they increase, yeah, they jack up the price, and many people who works for grocery stores or any small stores, they could not afford to live there anymore. So they kick them out and they just live here. I went there one time, and there's like so many. Actually, they have phones, they have TVs, but they just don't have home or shelter. So that's, and here we know all these plastics waste. This is real. This is in Indonesia. So look at this, the animals, because of the plastics and all this waste on the ocean. This one also, this guy still served with all this garbage. I don't know if it's, maybe it's I don't know if it's Photoshop or this looks real. And then global warming, right? People say that it's a hoax, but it's not a hoax. It's a climate change. Look at this, the data that we have. The temperature is always increasing here. The factories creating all these pollutants, and Antarctic, they becomes, the ice melted, right? So the ocean surface will increase, and that's gonna be problem for example, islands in Indonesia. If everything's gone, then the ocean surface will rise. And this is deforestation. That means they cut all the trees without like replanting the trees. So the CO2, the carbon dioxide, is not sucked by the trees anymore. It goes and basically deteriorate the atmosphere. And this is happened last summer. Look at this. This is in Portland, Oregon. This is daytime. It's like people say that it's the end of days, kiamat. This is at noon time. The red sky like this because of forest fire. Look at this, forest fire. It caused all these red skies, and the whole west coast. I was with my family. Actually, we were trying to go to Yosemite, and then we got stuck because of forest fire. This forest fire, because of some people, they burn intentionally. So this is not because of the natural, but it's added to this natural condition because of the summertime. The sun is very hot, right? And then some people, they just like, they're probably like some intentional, some stupid. They use fireworks in the middle of the forest, and then it burns all this. And then look at this, all this west coast got hit, and it's almost like more than 1 week. Actually, we had to stay inside the home. It's very dangerous. If you go out, your lungs might be affected, because this is like usually between 0 to 10, right? The oxygen level, the pure air. But this one is already 500. Can you imagine that? 500, the numbers. So that's very scary. And this one is Indonesia. In Indonesia, Riau, right? It's frequent problems. Some people, they burn the forest there, and then the government already arrested some. So this becomes like not only Indonesian problem, but Singapore, Malaysian, they complain. This is all because of the hands of man. And this mentioned in the Quran that Allah give the taste of what they're doing, so they can think and go back to the right path. So what about youth problems? So here, maybe everybody knows, it's a generation of selfie. So when something happened, instead of solving or helping someone, they just like take their phones and record everything, and then try to post it on social media to get so many likes. If nobody likes their video, they will try to do another one. It's a selfie mentality. It's called narcissism. It's close to mental health problems. So this is what happened to many our young generation. So this is one thing that we need to, and this is a prevalent what do you call that? Addiction game. I don't know how many of you that addiction to games play. Not only kids, actually, there are some adults that got addicted to games. They're like hours and hours, even 24 hours. I have um, actually friends. Also in college, I had some friends that dropped out of college because of game addiction. That time there was no 1990s is MUD, multi-user dungeon. So they got addicted because of the addiction is coming because of your playing with people. You like to be praised. You put in ranks. So that's kind of addicted. So many of them drop out from college because of this. Look at this kid. His dad like, okay, get out of the house, get some, play game outside. So this is it's a major problem in our community as well. And here's this is addicted to porn. Porn. So people get addicted to different types, including porn and drugs, smoking, marijuana, alcohol, and free sex. And this a lot of cases here. There's a lot of teenage pregnancies outside marriage. So even one school here, I visited that school, and then I was wondering why there is a kindergarten next to high school. And actually, that's kindergarten is not separate from that high school. It's for a high school student that have babies. So that's a kind of prevalent. Can you guys still see the slide?
Yeah, it's like
Okay. And this problem is lethargic. Basically, kids they don't get motivated to
what
read, to study. So they just got what do you call that? Apathetic. Like it doesn't have any motivation to do anything except sit in front of computer or TV, binge watching Netflix for the whole nights, eating snacks, and instead of working out, they sleep.
Mas Rido, Rino,
Yeah.
I think there's a slight issue with the sound of your microphone. There's like a windy sound, like
Oh,
can you
hold
turn
on.
the microphone perhaps?
Is it the sound of my computer?
Much better. Yes.
That's better. Okay, okay.
Much
Hold
better.
on. All right.
Okay.
So here's the
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Okay, sure. Here's the problem with the kids rebellions to parents. So they don't want to listen to parents anymore. They think their parent is like stupid, idiots. It's beyond. They even yell at parents. They roll their eyes, and this bullying. It is like widespread also. They bully kids that seems like younger than them or weaker than them. They mock them and basically cause them to feel depressed and feel not accepted. And that's physical disease in cyberbullying. So many kids they committed suicide because of they got bullied online. You are ugly, you are fat, you are a loser, you have no friends. So it's a mean uh, kids there. So be careful on this one. So all these problems cause many youth to ask, the basic questions. Why all this? Who am I? Where I'm from? And why am I here? What should I do here? Where am I going? So all these basic questions. It's a basic question everybody asks actually. When you start having critical thinking, you ask these questions. And if you don't have these questions is important to be answered. Otherwise, people will not have direction. They don't know what to do with their lives. They don't have purpose. They can do anything what they want, and that cause problem for other people. So because of the confusions and no a satisfactory answer, some people like in our community, in Muslim community, they left Islam. So this is a new phenomenon. So it's like nearly 1 in 4 Muslims, so about 20% raised in the U.S. left Islam. So they become atheists usually. So here's a letter by an imam. So parents wrote a letter to an imam saying that my 21 years old He's a Hafiz of the Quran. 30 Jews, Hafiz, declare himself atheist. So this is real. And I know one Hafiz of Quran also. He's 19 years old. He also left Islam. He's a very active Muslims in the masjid. We can talk more about this later when question answer. But this is a real challenge for Muslim community. Okay, so if we look at the problems that we talked about before, we can see all these problems: war, racism, shootings, homeless. We can conclude with these two things: the root cause, human ego, and then ignorance. In the Quran, it's called zoluman jahula. In one of the verses, Allah mentioned about zoluman. The mankind is zoluman jahula, which is zulm and jahil. Jahil means ignorance. So we will address this inshallah. So because we're talking about successful next Muslim generation, so we need to know the basics. Like what is the definition of the problem? What is the root cause? What is the successful? What is the criteria? So the successful generation is the generation that can resolve existing problems. So it produces less problem than before. If you're not successful, that means your problem is more. So our my kids, my grandkids, my grandkids, if they have more problems, that means they're not successful. To be successful, they have to resolve problems. So to make it less problem. So where to start? So first, as a Muslim, we need to go back to the basic. It's called like people here saying like back to square one. So sometimes that's why in the youth workshop we usually talk about the beginnings. What is the truth? How do we know about the truth? The definitions and all these things until we talked about God and religion and so many religion. Which one is the one we should trust? So there's criteria. That's another topic. But this one we already come up with this belief that the Quran is the guidance. This is in the Surah Al-Baqarah. Alif Lam Mim, Dhalikal Kitabu la Raiba Fi, Hudal lil Muttaqin. So it's guidance, Hudal lil Muttaqin, to those whose righteous or taqwa. And Rasulullah also said, right, in the when during the Hajatul Wada, that he left us two things: the Quran and Sunnah. So this one is since Adam. Allah mentioned this. So when Adam was put on earth, Allah said that I'm gonna send revelation, wahi, guidance to you. Whoever follow my guidance, there will be no fear on them. This is the the topic about people asking like why we have so many problems, problem of evil basically. The Quran already addressed all those actually. So after we know this, then next would be proactive. We know that Allah is already sent down the guidance, right? So those don't just stand there, just start working basically. So the first thing we should believe, we have the faith that Allah never changed the condition of people unless they change themselves. So this is verse in the Quran: Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. And also, if you read the story of Musa, Prophet Moses, when he was running away from Pharaoh, right, Fir'aun, he met two girls, right, two women, and he tried to help them with the water from the well. So he brought he helped them to bring the water to their village, and they told their father, hire him, hire this guy. He's strong and trustworthy. So he's a good worker. Musa is a strong and trustworthy. So that's proactive. You cannot just stay there. I mean, sit there and watching people, doing the work, and you should do the work yourself. So to be proactive, you need to know like your what can you change. So like if you born with parents from Indonesia, you cannot. I don't know if you have maybe mixed marriage or your parents. You don't have blonde, you don't have blue eyes, or maybe if you dye your hair. But it's a given. It's your fate that you born with Indonesian blood, right? So or people here they cannot change. Like if you are like 5 feet tall, you want to become like 6 feet tall. I mean, if you already grow, right, the maximum, that's your fate. That's beyond your control. The one that we can control is the situation, your attitudes, right? So proactive people, they don't blame anyone. For example, somebody, you talk to your friend and they're nice to you, and then 5 minutes later, 5 minutes later, you found out that he talked behind your back, and he's talking badly about you. And he's like, if you are reactive people, you blame the circumstances. You will say like, oh, this guy is like two-faced liar, and like you basically like cursing him and stuff like that. That's reactive. It's not good. The proactive people, they will like open up, like you talk to him nicely. You're like, what happened? I hear you talking about me. I feel I feel sad that you talk behind my back. Like, but you forgive people, so you don't like keep grudge and like making the situation worse. So this is one thing. The other one, the other example here, for example, your parents ask you to do something. Okay, clean your room, please, and then you say, I will try. That's reactive. That's not good. The proactive, I will do it. Or oh, this is I was born from poor family. I cannot do. I cannot achieve that. That's reactive. Proactive, I can do better than that. So let's see our options instead of I have to, I choose to. So this is we need as a to be successful. We need to be proactive instead of reactive, and we have to be to have this integrity instead of like uh, without any moral standard. This is given. It's called ma'ruf. That's why in the Quran it's there's a fitrah, right? So everybody is born with fitrah. So everyone, not only Muslims but non-Muslims, have this fitrah, the ma'ruf that inside their hearts. It's called we can call it integrity basically. Everybody, they don't like lying, they don't like injustice, they don't like people cheating, right? So that's common sense. It's known when Allah create humans in the womb and blow the nafs, the ruh. This one is given. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورُهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَهَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. That's a free will Allah gives. Everybody, Allah is giving this. They have uh, known some of the basics, moral standard inside their hearts. But during this journey in their lives, when they commit sins, the sin will cover their hearts. That's why كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. The dots of these sins will cover these lights of the hearts. So that's why the revelation from times of Adam, it's try to remind people, hey, this is the standard from Allah. This is the guidance. So we have to, make sure we understand the integrity. So we talked about success, and we always see success from the tip of this one here. People like, oh, that, Mark Zuckerberg is like billionaire, like he's making billions of dollars, but you don't see what happened before that. Like what he stay up all night, many days, many weeks. Many successful people, they don't get that success in just one night. They have to struggle. They have to, Michael Jordan said that, to be able to achieve his, what do you call that, as a champion, he has to fail so many times, hundreds of times. That's why he can, learn from the failure. So this is what the iceberg illusion of success. And then as a Muslim, Rasulullah mentioned this because you kind of feel overwhelmed with so many tasks to do. Like I feel lazy, and like, so Rasulullah already teach us so many dua. This is one of the dua. So you guys need to start, memorizing dua, not only the Arabic but also understand the meaning. So when you read the Arabic, you understand the meaning, you feel it. You feel, you ask Allah from your hearts instead of Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. You don't feel what you're talking to Allah, right? So you ask Allah. So when you say Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal hazani wal ajizi wal kasali wal bukh wal jubni wa dala'i daini wa ghalabati rijal, you're asking Allah, If you don't memorize the Arabic, that's fine too. You can just read, because Allah knows any language. We try to read Arabic because we try to remember Rasulullah saying something like this. We try to do the same thing, right? So people might like, it's better to know the original language, because the translation might be wrong too. If you know Arabic, you know the original language is what. So okay, next is the plan. So after you have this passion, your mental mindset, right? So first, you already have that. What next? You have to make a plan. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullah wa tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighadin. So every soul should look forwards what they're gonna do for tomorrow. And then Allah say, Wattaqullah innallaha khabirum bima ta'malun. And also, accompanying your taqwa when you make plan, make sure you have taqwa. Because you can have plans and your plan is evil, right? You can have an evil plan. You're smart, but you don't have taqwa. You can plan for stealing money or whatever, cheating or something. But taqwa need to be there before you make plan. So people don't plan for fail. They fail to plan. This is like some kind of sayings here. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So you need to plan. Everybody, don't just like, oh, I don't need plan. It's all in my head. And maybe you are a genius. You can remember all the 3 weeks before you like. It's very exceptional if you don't want to plan and you think you can remember everything. So when you do plan, you have to. This is known in every organization. Every organization, every corporation, company, usually before they make a product, they need to know like what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna build an app. Okay, why that app? Why you create that app? Then how we create that after we understand, because you don't want to spend billion of dollars investment, right? You hire developers, like you spend monies, for HR and stuff like that, and then you create a problem that nobody use. You waste your time. So you need to say why you want to build that, why you want to go that route, and then after you know that, then you say how. So how we accomplish that. So this is the plan. Make plans. So before everything, you need to know your place. Your place on earth is what is your purpose? Remember the 5 questions. Who am I? Uh, where was I, and why I'm here? What should I do? Where am I going? All these questions is basically existential questions. People will ask this no matter what. So luckily that we have the guidance from Allah. The Quran is the guidance, Al-Huda, right? Al-Furqan, and also Allah said in the Quran, وَنُنَزِلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ الشِّفَاء وَرَحْمَةً لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So Al-Quran already sent by Allah as a shifa and rahmah, blessing. So if you don't want to follow, that's your fault. But we have the answer. So here's our name card. Our name, our status, our purpose, our role, our mission, our vision. What's the difference between mission and vision? Mission is short term. Like to accomplish vision long term, we have to accomplish the missions. Vision is the long term, mission is the short term to accomplish long term. So maybe later we can share the slides.
We can go deeper into this. Yes. Master Parido, we have about 10 minutes left, or 8 minutes left on the clock. Is the
10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
So the plans also, we need to plan for when somebody dies. Rasulullah said that everything stopped, right? Except 3: sadaqah jariyah, knowledge, and the prayer from the pious descendant. So you plan for this, like, okay, I wanna be wealthy, so I can build masjid, I can build hospital, I can build bridge. So that's sadaqah jariyah. When you die, that's the deeds of your building that, people use that, you still get rewards from Allah. The knowledge, when you write a book, when you teach people, when you become professor, your knowledge become knowledgeable, people share your knowledge, that's like multiply. Even when you die, that knowledge will be benefits will benefit you in the grave, in the hereafter. And then the descendant that pray for you, this is also the other one. So when you make plans, make sure that you have your mission achievable. Like when if you're elementary school, make sure you got good grades, you accomplish your like a goal like a science fair or a competition or extracurricular. If you're in college or grad school, you also plan for that to be what you want to be. So many fields like you can become police officer, nurse, or teacher, or doctors, or anything, scholar, imam, or but the vision you should be clear. You want to be a good Muslim that will be happy in this world and the hereafter. So Rasulullah said, "Khairun nas anfa'uhum linnas." The best of people are those who bring most benefit to mankind. So not only just write it down, right? You have to write it down with a goal and steps, and then you have to take action. Otherwise, it's just like on a piece of paper. To become reality, you need to do action on your plan. You can be love it, you love it, you're great at it. The world need it, you got paid for it. So that's the ideal. This is called the purpose, the right one. So if you know this, that's very lucky, because not many people can do this. They might have like great at it, love it, but they don't get paid for it. So that's. And then after you make plan, make dua to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, because Allah always, even though people say that it's far away, God, the creator of the universe, is far greater than us. We are just small speck, and dust in the universe. But Allah said, "Fa inni qarib." Allah's close, even closer to your jugular vein in your neck. So it's like if you have a like a Bluetooth, you press the button, you talk, Allah here. Something like that analogy, right? So don't think like, okay, I'm too far from Allah. Allah will not listen to me. So that's like you have negative thinking about Allah. And if you don't have, if your plan doesn't work, you think about other plans. So plan A did not work, but the alphabet has 25 more letters. A, B, C, D, E, Z, right? And then the answer to the prayer can be postponed by Allah. And maybe Allah have something better in mind. Like this girl, he did not get accepted because of his hijab to be nurse. But then, she did not get accepted to become nurse, but she became a doctor instead. So here's the cartoon that like he was late. He was like, I plan to sail with this boat, but no, and then it's like, why my dua never granted by Allah, and he doesn't know this is Titanic. So you never know. So Imam Shafi'i said that my heart is at ease, knowing what was meant for me will never miss me, and that what missed me was never meant for me. This Imam Shafi'i say.
Concept of qadr.
Yeah. So sometimes people think that they make plans, but it's not as expected. So they say that, okay, why I want a big house? Why I got this house? But Rasulullah said, don't look to those above you, but those below you. So it remembers Allah favors on you. So you're thankful to Allah. You say, Alhamdulillah, my house is like this. So you keep saying Alhamdulillah, because every time you say Alhamdulillah, it's increase your happiness in your hearts. Instead of your complaining, it's become stressful. So maybe we stop at this, or how many minutes, Mas Akyar?
We have roughly 34 minutes left, so we cannot probably go through everything. We can briefly go through the rest of the best habits to follow.
Sure.
I think.
Sure.
And a quick recap of every.
Okay. So this is the managing time. So this is very important. Allah said in the Quran, "Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr." Right? So everybody's lost. Allah said it's already destined. Like, except those who have faith and those who do righteous deeds. Right? And then not only that, you have to, because you deal with people, you need to be advise one another of the truth, and advise one another to be patient, because living in this earth, you need to be patient. Earth is not like paradise. When you don't like fire is hot, right? Even you say I don't like fire is hot. That's the natural law that Allah put. If you know, that means, so Rasulullah mentioned about two blessings that people waste: health and free times. So how many times if we play like games for hours and hours and hours, you can study so many programming language, for example, and you got hired by Google. Even you are still high school, people got hired by Google. You know, and when you got hired since high school, you can become like architect. You know, like 5 years ahead of everybody. So this is, people need to prioritize, and people think about this, right? So this, these rocks and small rocks and, you know, pebbles and sands. You know, the question is like, can you fill everything in one jar? So people put the sands first, you know, and then the rocks, it won't fit. So the solution will be put the big rocks first, then the small rocks, the pebbles, and then the sand. Then it fit. So the analogy is the big rock is your highest priority, your highest priority. Your ibadah, your you know, relationship with your parents, your health. That will be your priority, the highest priority. The pebbles, the medium pebbles is your day to day. Like you need to accomplish that, right? And then all this sand is that something that is not that urgent. So you put it at the end after everything else. You should not put the sands first. Then you don't, you know, people regret that they spend hours and hours entertaining themselves and they forgot about their families. You know, their got divorced and everything. So that's, you have to prioritize. So this is very good chart here. So you need to differentiate between important and urgent, and not important and not urgent. So the, this one here, important and urgent, do it right away. Don't procrastinate. This one you can put it like aside, but all still need to be executed, like exercise. You know, reading practice. Not important but urgent. Like you think like you can answer all the phone calls every time you're in a meeting, like phone calls and emails. No, put it aside. It's not, even though if it's except if it's really really urgent, then you have to answer. Not important, not urgent. Too much TV, too much game, peer pressure, all this you can put it aside. I don't mean that, you know, you should not enjoy yourself, because you should relieve your stress once in a while, right? Like you can play a game, but you have to manage the time. Instead of the game controlling you, your daily activities, you control your time. Here's like an example. You can create your own chart. You know, like start creating your own chart. Hours and then time for you, time for your for others, for parents. You put it there. And this just a cartoon. Like people try to, you know, they basically uh, you know, forgot to focus. You know, because of social media.
That happens to a lot of us.
Yeah, this me. I forgot what I came here for, the searching engine. You know, like Google. I forgot. And then Facebook. I want to clean something. Oh, look, Facebook. Okay, so before everything else, you need to make sure you spend more time in sharpening your skill. Like you want to apply jobs, right? You need to make sure you spend more hours, you know, before interview, right? So that's the same thing. You manage your time. Okay, so that's time now is related to social dealing, like with other people. See,
I
like
think,
people.
we are
Okay.
quite short on time, so
Sure.
I think we can review.
Yeah, we can start with the question answer, I guess.
We can revisit the next episode. So, inshallah, thank you, Jazakallah khairan, Mas Pak Rido, for sharing, mashallah, the different issues that we face, the guidance, or what, or you know, how we can go about it, right? There's like several versions of Quran that I think we would encourage everyone to look at. Maybe Pak Rido, you can share it. And then habits, yes, that you know we can do in order to yani, you know, tackle all these issues and become a better Muslim ourselves for the next generation. So these three you mentioned, you know, about being proactive, right? About making plans, about managing time. So inshallah, I think this is going to be quite useful for all of us. So we're opening the floor for questions and for discussions. So, but actually, if I recall, you had do you have a closing statement, Pak Rido?
Hold on. Basically, This one here. So the key
Alright.
success. Yeah. Should I
Alright.
start now?
Yeah, you can finish this
Okay.
slide, and then
All right.
we can go into
So this is the summary of everything. Basically, you have to have self improvement because remember the two things, zolum and jahula. Everything's root cause of the problem is the ego or the nafs, right? Yourself and what the knowledge. So you have to have these 5 points here. You have to have make plans and manage your time properly. Otherwise, you will regret. You cannot rewind the time. When you are like 10 years old, you can start learning coding, for example, right? When you are 14, you already build your own apps or something like that. Prioritize your, or you can memorize the whole Quran and even understanding the meaning, the tafsir. Self control. This is not only for yourself but also towards others. For yourself is you try to control yourself from lust, seeing addiction towards different opposite sex, for example, self control. And then towards others, like when you got angry, you self control, you anger management. Help others, like charity, good deeds. You need to be able to make sure your intention is good, not showing off to people. Ria and then sum'ah you mentioned or good deeds. Hey, I donate that to the masjid actually. That's sum'ah. And then ujub, you feel you're better than others. So that's ujub. So make sure you do the help and the charity, everything's lillahi ta'ala. And continuous improvement. Not, you should not stop learning, stop reading. Always reading, always learning, and always, exercise. Make sure you stay fit. And inshallah, always keep Allah in your daily activities. Recite daily zikir, daily Quran. Don't forget every day Quran. Always read the Quran, and don't only the Arabic but the translation, inshallah. And yeah, maybe that's one thing that inshallah, if you do all this, our next generation will be a successful one.
Inshallah, inshallah. There's one question here about. I'll just visit one. Sorry. See, how can we be, things like continuous improvement, things like self-control, things like time management, right? I think all of us, if you are 14 and above, I guarantee that probably you have at some point tried to make a list of what you want to achieve in a even writing it down maybe in a piece of paper, put it like in your wall of paper, and then 3 months later you visit back, is like, where did we go? What happened? That's completely off track. So that's one thing, and also with the religion in general, Pak Rido, how do we be istiqamah? How do we have consistency for our learning, for our iman, for our habits, when there's a lot of things that are distracting us, and like there's a lot of information coming to us and like bring us in this direction, pulling us in different directions.
That's frequently asked question actually. So that kind of question, it comes down to our relationship with Allah. Like if you are doing all this ibadah, that's my feelings, my own feelings. If I do all this ibadah and close to Allah, you never know. Allah answer it like this, like quick. You ask like, Allah, I need this, and then you have good relationship. I sometimes here I live with my college roommates. When I was in bachelor, after high school, I came here. So I live with non-Muslim roommates, atheists, agnostics, and then Christian Bible study guy. And I was from Indonesia. I don't know much about. They ask me questions like, when I make wudu, they ask, why you make wudu three times. Like because I 3 times. But they ask this question because they close to you, right? They will not ask if they are not close, because it's a personal question. So when I make zikir, 33, they ask my roommates, like I was in the room, and what is that? Why you do like this with your hands? It's remembrance of God. Why the numbers? He said like, why you pray 2, 4, now 3? So this one is something that beyond us, right? So I didn't know the answer that time. I was like, I don't know. That's given. And then you ask Allah, I don't know the answer but this, and Allah gives you some solution. Like when my friend cook water, right? The water is boiling, right? And I asked like, Jeff, why the water boil at 212 Fahrenheit? Why not 100? right? It's a number. It's basically the number in the universe. I ask him like, okay, why you have two eyes? Why you have five fingers? Why you have all this number in the universe and you never ask why? It's given, right? So the same thing with our numbers. Why tawaf 7 times? Why you have to do this 2.5%? All these numbers is basically the same thing like in the universe. So,
Mm.
so to be consistent, you have to be stay close with Allah, and then don't forget dua, dhikr when you walk. When you, for example, I go to Grand Canyon, right? It's so amazing, right? When you see that, you say Subhanallah. You don't say like, oh, so cool. I mean, it's okay to say that, but you say,
Also say subhanallah.
yeah, you feel it like this is something amazing. When you see the performance on the stage, what happened? It's amazing performance. You stand up and you clap, right? Applaud.
Yeah.
But why we don't say that? This is amazing creation. Like you see coral reefs, colorful fish, right? You say Subhanallah, So that's something that every day you have to remind yourself. I mean, we are not angels. We do mistakes. We commit sins, but the Muslims, Rasulullah said, always istighfar. Like try to, not like some people. They just, they like their sin and they just, commit all the sins all the way. They don't even come back. So the Muslims, the believers, when they do mistakes, they come back, right? So that's we are not angels, but we try our best. So that's the relationship with Allah is the important thing that I feel like to be consistent, inshallah.
Type. I think that's probably the case. Okay, fine. I wish we could have more questions, I guess, all around. But I think time is running short. If you may, I think we could stay behind and or like answer questions in the chat or later on. Some Aisha here is asking for a clarification about something that you said. So maybe.
Sure.
But I think we could answer most of these questions offline. And we could publish one Google Docs where everyone can see the answers of different things. But again, شكرا جزاك الله خير Barido. Thank you for sharing the insights. Thank you for sharing how we can, I think, improve ourselves. While you were speaking, I myself just put out a list of short-term goals. I have not done that in a while, so it was a good remember. It was a good reminder. Thank you all. So I will give this back to Mas Henry to, I think, close for some closing statements. But I think in general, before that, in general, for everyone here, right, that the next Muslim generations, we really have a different set of issues than what our parents or our older brothers have had. We're very much more connected to technology, which is very much altering, how we interact with information and stuff. So, at one point, again, we have to have that basic social structure that help each other with Islam in these tough times, right? Because nobody can traverse this age by themselves. I'm pretty confident of that. So you always find something. I think I asked a question earlier also in the chat for people. How do you think we can connect with others, with other Muslims? There, you can try to find it online. You can try to find some Islamic society. In each country, usually you can find some sort of Islamic society, right? With the person, the answer here from Akila is from Taiwan Islamic Society, and of course in the US you have your organization, INSA, right? If you're in universities, you can try to connect with MSAs like I did, Muslim Student Associations. In there, no organization is generally perfect, but it's a good step, to try to increase your knowledge. And of course, personally, that link with Allah, has to be there, so that it will help you with all the other things as well. I guess that's my attempt for summarizing everything in that was talked about. Again, Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward with good for all of our speakers here who have shared a lot of knowledge with us. So yeah, well, I'll now give it back to Mas Henry, my good friend Yani. Take it off and close the session. Jazakallah. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Brother Hen, and all the speakers. Now we are moving almost in the end of our program today. Now, before we close, we have a display closing video. So I will ask the operator to play the display closing video, please. MashaAllah, thank you for the great video, brothers. And then I recognize it's one of the spots I think in Oxygen Park. So yeah, this is really inspiring. So I think we are arriving in the end of our program. So before I close that, on behalf of the committee of the Next Muslim Generation, again, we would like to apology for any technical glitch during this entire of the events, and then I hope we get a lot of benefit for the speakers of today. So let's close our event by saying Hamdalah, Alhamdulillah, and then decide the doa kafaratul. Subhanakallahumma
wa bihamdik.
Subhanakallahumma asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Thank you very much for all the participation, all the speaker Pak Dubes and all the committee. And then I will see you in the next event. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good day.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sampai ketemu lagi.
Sampai ketemu lagi Pak Dubes dan semuanya.
Assalamualaikum. Sampai jumpa.
Terima kasih.
Sehat terus.
Pak Dubes.
Baik, sama-sama. Terima kasih. Terima kasih semuanya. Kalau ada waktu di Qatar, di Doha, kapan-kapan atur ketemu ya, main-main ke Wisma.
Insya Allah Pak.
Ya, kita punya program. Kita punya program namanya Minkop Samarot.
Oh.
Ya, Minkop Samarot
seperti bahasa Arab, tapi nggak ada di kamusnya. Maknanya minum kopi sama roti. Kita punya program nanti Pak Ali bisa share itu.
Iya, net podcast mungkin bisa undang lagi Pak Dubes.
Boleh.
Podcast
Ya,
selanjutnya.
kita bisa sharing juga di sana. Iya, oke.
Oke, Pak.
Oke, all the best.
Terima kasih semua.
Sama-sama.
Atas kehadirannya, alhamdulillah bisa sampai selesai Pak Dubes. Terima kasih.
Alhamdulillah, cuma saya on off tadi, tapi saya dengerin terus.
Alhamdulillah.
Iya. Oke. Baik, terima kasih ya. Yuk, assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Alhamdulillah.
Yuk Mas Ahyar, yuk Mas Hendriadi semuanya.
Thank you Pak Rida, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yo, thank you.
Terima kasih semuanya ya. Atasnya.
Sama.
Pak Hendri,
Questions,
semuanya
please,
ya, bekerja sama, Masya Allah.
Yeah.
Kita semuanya sampai jalan gabut. Terima kasih sekali lagi Mbak Rida sudah live ya. Kita live aja dulu di sini, nanti salah kita lanjut di grup yang sudah ada. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.